Hey y'all, it's Kate from the Little Apothecary and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm talking about The Crimes of Rooker Flynn by AR Witham. Now, I got an ARC copy of this, so I got an early copy. And this was just released, I think, a couple weeks ago. This is a new series based in the Keymark land, which is the land of the Legend of Blackjack. And I forget his other novella that he wrote that was a prequel to that, but it's in that same land with some of the same characters but a different story. This is book 1 in this series. I think it's going to be a trilogy. Just like in The Legend of Blackjack, we have great characters, an engaging story, and a well-written plot. Like I said, this is back in Keymark, and we're with Blackjack and Rooker Flynn, and this is at the Locke Institute, which is framed and advertised as like this school, but really it's a prison for basically the most wanted criminals. The wealthy and the astute pay to have the people that they like the least, the criminals that they like the least, go to the Locke Institute, and it's basically like a life sentence here. So like I said, really great characters. There was not a single character that I thought like this could have been better. I wanted to see a little bit more done with the characters, but the characters themselves were absolutely fantastic. Our atmosphere and our setting, this one I felt like was a little bit lacking for me. I could see the setting. There were times when I could hear it and I could feel it. I couldn't really smell it, which I feel like some of that goes into our atmosphere. The atmosphere for me felt a little bit lacking. We were supposed to be in this dangerous area, and sometimes I felt the danger, sometimes I didn't really feel the danger, and so I wanted a little bit more with our atmosphere. Writing style, this for me is a hard one because I do acknowledge that I got an ARC copy of this, so it was an early copy that maybe by the time it went to publication had some of the kinks ironed out, but it felt like some of the writing could have dealt with just one more round of editing. Now maybe that's just my editor's brain seeing these writing errors, these grammatical errors, and I can't help it. That's just how I am. I see that in all kinds of books, even published books, books that have been published for years and years and years, popular bestsellers. So maybe that's just me, and maybe, you know, it was also just the headspace that I was in. Like I said, plot, I thought it was a well-written plot. I was a little bit expected, but that's also kind of expected with this genre and age range. It still is, even though it's a little bit heavier book for a younger age, it's still geared more towards younger kids than adults, I think. Logic and relationships. So logically, it made perfectly sense. It made perfect sense as to where it was going, what was happening with our characters, what our characters were doing. Everything made logical sense. Our relationships felt really lacking to me, and that's partly because of this sense of unease and mistrust that we have throughout the book. No one really knows who they can trust because they're all a bunch of criminals, so they don't think they can trust anyone, which to me, you know, I get, but also it makes it hard to find those solid relationships. We had the Rooker and Jack Black relationship, but that was really the only one that felt like was solid throughout. Enjoyment, I gave this a 3.5 out of 5. I still enjoyed it, and I still want to read more in this series, but I think partly because of the ARC copy, partly because of just where my brain was at the time, I gave this a 3.5 out of 5 stars. I enjoyed what I read, but I wanted more, basically. So I'm really looking forward to see where AR Witham goes in this next book that I think is supposed to come out relatively soon. I think it's supposed to be a couple months in between book releases. So I'm looking forward to seeing where book 2 goes in this series. and what happens with our characters next. If you've read The Crimes of Rooker Flynn, let me know in the comments below. What did you think of it? What did you have the same problems that I did, or did you just absolutely love it? I loved The Legend of Blackjack, and so I think that also, for me, I was holding this book up to a higher expectation, higher limits, keeping blackjack in mind. And so going into the next book, I think I'll have a better experience because I'll have adjusted my expectations per The Crimes of Rooker Flynn instead of The Legend of Blackjack. So that's it for now. Keep reading, and I love y'all to the moon and back. Bye.